A market feels very different when customers have only one serious place to go. If the only internet provider in an area raises prices or gives poor service, many customers cannot simply switch. That lack of choice is the power behind a monopoly. Control over suppliers can make a monopoly stronger because rivals struggle to access the inputs they need. This can matter when switching software can cost more than the monthly fee. A monopoly exists when one seller controls a market or has so much power that competitors cannot meaningfully challenge it. The key issue is not just being big. The issue is whether customers have real alternatives and whether new competitors can enter without being blocked by cost, rules, networks, or control of essential resources. A normal week can show this when local broadband is checked before the decision becomes expensive to reverse. The result changes when a patent can block rivals for a limited period. Monopolies can form in several ways. A company may own a scarce resource, hold an important patent, build a network that becomes more valuable as more people use it, or operate in an industry where infrastructure is too expensive to duplicate. Each path creates a barrier around the business. A local broadband provider can raise prices when customers have no practical alternative in their area. Natural monopolies appear when one provider can serve the market more efficiently than several competing providers. Water pipes, electricity grids, and rail networks are common examples. It may be wasteful to build 5 separate pipe systems under one street, so regulation often replaces normal competition. Limited choice changes the relationship between buyer and seller because customers cannot easily walk away. Patents create temporary monopoly power by design. A drug company that develops a new medicine may receive exclusive rights for a period. The argument is that protection encourages research. The trade-off is that prices can be high while alternatives are legally restricted. When one provider dominates a neighborhood, even slow service may continue because switching is unrealistic. Network effects can also protect a dominant firm. A payment app, marketplace, or social platform becomes more useful when many people already use it. A competitor may offer a better product, but if customers cannot find their friends, sellers, buyers, or data there, switching becomes difficult. The contract matters when local broadband is checked before the decision becomes expensive to reverse. Monopoly power affects pricing. In a competitive market, raising prices too much sends customers to rivals. A monopoly faces less pressure. It can restrict output, raise prices, bundle products, or lower service quality without losing customers as quickly. Platform fees can climb quietly when sellers depend on the platform to reach their customers. This does not mean every monopoly charges the highest possible price. A company may avoid angering regulators, attracting political attention, or encouraging substitutes. It may also keep prices moderate to protect long-term control. Monopoly power is the ability to choose with less competitive pressure, not a guarantee of reckless pricing. A customer may accept poor service not because they're loyal, but because the alternatives are worse. Consumers usually feel monopoly power through fewer choices. The product may be expensive, customer support may be slow, and innovation may weaken. When a business does not fear losing customers, it has less reason to improve quickly. Broadband is a simple example. The market may look open on paper while one company controls most useful access. Workers and suppliers can be affected too. If one major employer dominates a town, workers may have fewer options and weaker bargaining power. If one large buyer controls access to customers, smaller suppliers may accept tougher terms because losing that buyer could threaten their survival. Supplier access can decide whether a new competitor has a real chance or only a theoretical one. Regulators watch monopolies because market power can be abused. Antitrust laws may challenge mergers, punish exclusionary behavior, or break up companies in extreme cases. The goal is not to punish success. The goal is to protect competition when dominance blocks fair entry and harms the market. High switching costs protect incumbents because customers lose time, data, contracts, or convenience by leaving. A common misunderstanding is that low prices prove there is no monopoly problem. A dominant company may keep prices low while it grows, then raise them later. It may also charge consumers little while extracting value from advertisers, sellers, data, or partners on another side of the market. A utility grid often behaves like a natural monopoly because duplicating the entire network would be wasteful. Another issue is predatory behavior. A powerful firm may cut prices temporarily to weaken a smaller rival, then regain pricing power after the rival exits. Proving this can be difficult, because low prices can also be normal competition. The intent and long-term effect matter. Network effects make dominance stronger when each new user makes the service more valuable for everyone already there. Monopolies can still innovate, especially when technology changes or regulation threatens them. But competitive pressure often pushes innovation harder. A company that knows customers can leave has a stronger reason to improve the product, reduce friction, and listen to complaints. The risk becomes clearer when network effect is checked before the decision becomes expensive to reverse. Real markets often sit between perfect competition and pure monopoly. There may be a few large firms, strong brands, switching costs, or local dominance. The useful question is how much choice customers truly have, not whether the textbook definition fits perfectly. Customer choice is the pressure that keeps markets disciplined. Monopoly weakens that pressure. For a household, monopoly power shows up in bills that feel unavoidable: utilities, broadband, local transport, or essential software. For a business, it may appear as dependence on one platform, one supplier, or one payment network. Dependence gives the other side leverage. A monopoly is most visible when people complain about price or service but still have nowhere else to go. The best protection is often competition, but competition needs conditions: open entry, fair access, transparent rules, and customers who can switch without unreasonable cost. When those conditions disappear, the market may look free while behaving like a locked gate. Switching costs can make a market feel monopolistic even when competitors exist. A business may stay with expensive software because moving data, training staff, and rebuilding workflows would be painful. The rival is technically available, but the practical cost of leaving protects the current provider. Control over distribution can also create power. If one platform decides which sellers are visible, small businesses may depend on rules they cannot negotiate. A change in ranking, fees, or access can affect revenue overnight, even if the platform never owns the products being sold. The customer question is simple: what would happen if this provider disappointed me tomorrow? If the answer is that switching would be quick and affordable, power is limited. If the answer is months of trouble, lost data, or no local alternative, the provider has leverage. A monopoly is not simply a company that became successful. It is a market structure where choice weakens and one player can shape prices, access, quality, or terms. Understanding monopolies helps explain why some prices stay high, why service can remain poor, and why competition matters even when one firm looks efficient.